All right, guys, tonight we're going to talk about the different kind of rig setups and how they will affect your operation. And setups and how. Sorry about that. We're gonna talk about the like your weight capacities and your fuel mileage and stuff like that, and how, you know, depending on what you're hauling will or you know how your truck's set up, it will it'll affect what you can and can't do, and how it'll affect how you know the amount of loads and stuff that you can take. So, sorry, just give me 1 second. Well, there, that'll work. All right. So, sorry, back to what I was saying. So we're going to talk about how the different truck and trailer combinations will affect your overall operation and your you know, your ability and whatnot. So the first thing you want to, you know, take note of is when it comes to this kind of stuff, weight equals, you know, money. So that's going to be where you want to be at. You want to be able to haul more loads, and that will, you know, broaden your options on what you can do, and it'll increase your revenue. So like I run right now, I run an F350, and I've ran, I don't know, just about every combination of vehicle that you can think of thus far. You know, I started out in a 98 and then an 01 Ram 3500 running under 10,000 pounds, or I mean under 26,000 pounds, which means you can only haul roughly 10,000 pounds at the absolute most. You can't, you might could get like maybe 11 on there if you're lucky, you know, and don't go through, you know, any scale houses so they don't like freaking jack you up. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of the trucks that I'm referencing here, and I'll give you a breakdown on each one of them. Scroll down. All right, so let's flip this screen around. All right, so this right here, this is that 01 that I was telling you about. It's two-wheel drive, Dodge 3500, NV 5600 transmission, 14 gears, and it will pull anything. It's a beast. But, you know, it's at the same time, it's an older truck, so they're not really meant to pull 10,000 pounds for 700 miles a day for, you know, 5 days in a row. And this is the trailer I was using. It's 36 foot. This is a Baggett trailer. It's got two 7K axles under it. The guy driving this particular load, he's a good dude. His name's Cork. Uh, no, this was a 35 foot. This is an Albright. They don't even make those anymore. This is a 2001 trailer. And honestly, I think it was probably sturdier than the newer trailers that I got. It just had a little crook at the end. That was the only problem with it. But anyway, you're limited to about 10,000 pounds with this setup, and it's really hard on the truck, being that it's a little older. This setup right here was a 98 Dodge 3500. It was a four-wheel drive. And so you can see it right over here. This was the 36-foot Baggett trailer I was talking about earlier. It's got the two 7K axles. Of course, the other one had two 7K axles. And to be honest, I would probably go ahead and get 8,000 pound axles if I was going to try this again. And the only reason I say that is because I've noticed, and some of the other guys that I talked to have noticed the same thing, that when you load it, like this thing weighed way more than the broker said it did, and it was a pain in the old arse trying to get it to Seattle, Washington. But what you end up having happen with the 7K or 14K suspension is that when you load these down, especially with like 10,000 pounds, and you're driving down the road and you hit something and that suspension bounces, it beats the bottom of the I-beam slap to death. So the bottom of that I-beam is just all like bent up and disformed and shit. So the 7K or the 8K axles may hold the weight better. I know some manufacturers like C&W, they will not put 7K axles on trailers like this anymore just because they had that kind of problems with them. So that's where I chained the thing to the freaking light post. Let's see here. Scroll up. I had another picture of both. All right. Here's another picture. I actually met up with one of the drivers, with the Cork out on the road. It's very odd to see two privateer trucks in the same spot. But this load I was driving the 2016 Ram 3500. Both of these trucks are two-wheel drive. This truck, I don't remember what I was hauling. I don't remember it being any, it wasn't very heavy. I do remember that. It didn't strike me as heavy. But this truck's 4-door, it's two-wheel drive. It's got a 342 rear end. You're not going to be able to tow just a whole astronomical amount of weight with this truck because of the gear ratio. But now you will get really good fuel mileage. Like loaded, this truck gets like 14 miles a gallon, which is pretty good considering it's a later model diesel truck. All right. Now the silver truck, it's got the 410s. Here's the red truck I was telling you about. It's a 98, 5.9, 12 valve, 410 gears. This truck did a really good job, and I've drove this truck from California and back like twice. The drawback with this old 12 valve and even the 01 with the 24 valve is that they'll pull anything you put behind them, just not very fast. And if anybody wants to get a second gen Dodge, I really love the trucks. I love the way they look. You're just going to want to go ahead and put a better transmission in it before you get out on the road. And you're also going to want to turn the power up on it, especially if it's a 12 valve. Because let me tell you, driving from Alabama to California doing 55 miles an hour is painful. It is painful. Drive you crazy. Let's see, this trailer right here, this is also a 36-foot trailer, but it's got fold over ramps. They're not the mega ramps, but they will fold over and make the deck flat all the way out which to me is very important because it allows you to haul, cars. And, cars don't pay very well by themselves. Some people claim they do, but I rarely see any vehicles that pay over 70 cents a mile. And like those are rare. So you're looking at like normally around 40 cents a mile. Here's a better shot of the whole setup on the 98. She's pretty dirty right here. And you see all this empty space right here? This is why we're going to cover going above 10,000 pounds. Because this thing takes, I think it's about half the total capacity that the trailer can, the rig can handle. But since it's such a low amount of weight that's left, like I want to say like 4,000 or 5,000 pounds, it was impossible to find anything to go with it. Let's scroll on up. Oh, this is that load I think that went to California I was telling you about. This, yep, California bound. This was painful. Oh, Jesus, it took forever to get there. Not to mention it was constantly, being that it was old, the truck's old, it was plagued with wiring issues. And the little pin that the fuel shutoff solenoid came apart, and oh my God, it was awful. I had to get that fixed in the middle of the desert. After I drove this truck and the other two, I bought this truck right here. This is a 2018 F350 single rear wheel. It's got 355 gears on it. In this particular setup, I was running. I was a CDL holder this time, and I did have a portion placed 1,000 pounds. But because I'm still running the same trailer, I was limited to like 11 and some change, 12 at the most. And even being able to put 12,000 pounds on it, it's still, your loads are still very, very limited. Let's see here. So here's another load I had with the little tractor. This truck, I really like this truck. I love a single wheel truck with a short bed. I do not like a long bed truck. All right, let me find one of the heavier loads. All right, so these are just pictures of my trips to California. And eventually, let's see, I did go up. I bought this black trailer right here. This trailer really, really helped me out. This was a 36-foot load max with dual 10,000 pound axles. And this is what it looked like when I got it. Yeah. And after I finished painting it and redecking it, this is what it looked like. Thought it turned out pretty well. All right, so this trailer increased my load capacity from 10,000 pounds to 20,000 pounds. Now, I rarely load it at 20,000 pounds, but just having that extra ability greatly increases your consistency to make more money. Like with the other trailers being topped out at 11 or 12,000, I was only able to make consistently in the upper threes, low fours. Every now and then I'd bust up in the fives, and super rarely would I ever get in the sixes. Just because of the availability of freight. And this setup right here, which is my single wheel F350 and 36-foot dual tandem trailer. Now, the major limiting factor in this whole setup is the truck itself, because this truck is rated to tow like 18,000 pounds, which I would put, I try to stay under 18,000 pounds on the deck. I think the most I ever put on it with this truck was like 15,000 pounds, maybe 17 once, but no, never mind. That was with the other truck. So yeah, about 18,000 was the max I would ever want to put on this truck. And I think the max that I ever did haul was 16,000. I hauled some kind of ball valve out to El Paso, Texas. But with the 355 gears, this truck did get pretty good gas mileage, like 11, sometimes 12 miles a gallon loaded. And another thing I liked about this truck was this bed. Look, this bed's only 6.5 feet long, and it doesn't have dually fenders and dually tires. So it's so much easier to get it around instead of like that dually. Now this load right here, this load was like 15,000 pounds, something like that. It was pretty heavy. Let's see here. I thought I had a picture of that ball valve. Yeah, there it is, right there. 16,000 pounds going to Texas. That thing right there, I could tell it was back there. But the old F-350 handled it no problem. Now, it wasn't long after that I got this dually, and the dually truck is actually, this truck is actually can tow more than this trailer can tow. So I think the dually with because it's got the 14 gears, it could handle like 28,000 pounds, but that trailer, I don't think it'll handle 28,000 pounds. So I had this load right here going to this dropped in Oklahoma City, and that dropped in like Albuquerque, New Mexico. And this is what I'm talking about. Each one of these loads, I think this weighed like 6,000 pounds, and that weighed like maybe 3,000 pounds, something like that. But anyway, if you're capped at 10,000 pounds, you would not be able to pick up both of these loads, nor would you be able to get. You might be able to get this Bobcat. So you would not be able to get this load. You would not be able to get this load. You would not be able to get the ball valve going to Texas. That you can get this load that weighed nothing. Which I threw a car on there with that to, you know, and so that's just a couple of loads that I'm talking about that you could get if you had the weight capacity to do so. Now, as far as the truck setup, I like a 4:10 gear ratio on my truck because it allows you to tow more. Like I got two dualies right now. I got the 16 Ram and I got the 18 F350. As far as power and torque, they're not that far off from each other. But the Ram having 342 rear end, it only has like, I want to say it's like 20 something thousand pound tow. Let me find it out. Let me pull it up. I was kind of surprised, honestly, when I looked it up. I was just a little bit disappointed with Ram on the towing capacity. It's almost like there's not even really a point to having dual wheels, because the only difference between the dual wheels, one is stability. Like if you make a sudden lane change, like when I went from driving the regular, the 98 dually to the 18 single wheel, I made a quick lane change and I could tell the whole truck swayed a little bit. because you're missing two tires essentially. All right, so with 342 gears with the 68 RFE, which is what it's got, the maximum trailer weight rating is 17,550, which is actually 50 pounds less. Let me find it. Yeah, 2018. Yeah. Let's see here. Right fast for you guys so you can see it on the chart for yourself. So the Ram 3500 dually with the 342 gears has a towing capacity of 17,550, while is the, let's see, conventional towing, gooseneck F250, F350. All right, that's conventional towing. All right, fifth wheel. All right, we got 355 gears on our F350. We got a super cab. We got a crew cab. We got all right. So I was wrong. It is, well, down here it's showing 20,000. So we got 20,600. 17-inch tires. Okay, so we got 20s. So you could probably get close to 20,000 pounds. According to this chart, it's 13.6, but Jesus Christ. I'm going to put 17s on it because I don't like buying tires for 20-inch freaking tires. So that'll put my tow rating at 20,600 pounds, which is actually higher than the dually. All right, we're sharing the screen again. Chrome tab. All right, so this is the F350. So you come over here, you find your 355 gears, and you come across and you find, all right, we got a crew cab, 4-wheel drive, 6 3/4 bed. And you come down, you got 13.6 and you got 26. All right, so then you go to the bottom and you go 5 and 6. All right, gooseneck tow rating shown, fifth wheel tow rating limited to fifth wheel hitch rating of 18,000. All right, so and then you got the little 6, which is 17-inch tires. So if we had 17-inch tires, we could tow 20,600 pounds. So we got 20-inch tires, so showing us to not go over 13.6, which is absolute horseshit. All right, so next we're gonna take a look at the Ram tow sheet. All right, so here we are. We got the 6.7 Cummins. We don't have the high output because we don't have the icing. We got 68 RFE. We got 342 gears. These are the base weights, and we come over here 17,550. So what that means is you subtract the weight of the trailer, and then that's supposed to be how much weight you can haul. So, all right, stop sharing. All right, so as you can see, the gear rating is very important when you go to select your truck. I would stick with a truck with 410s or 373s, primarily 410s. And the reason I say that is when I was driving the single wheel truck with 355s, and then I got into the dually with 410s, I noticed that like the truck just ran cooler. Like the transmission ran generally cooler, the oil ran cooler. But even though the truck ran at a higher RPM, it's going to run at like 2,100 RPMs versus about 1,600 with the 355s, and that's at 68 miles an hour, so cruise control. And you're also going to have less regen cycles with the 410 gears because your motor's running higher. It's going to be running a little hotter. So you don't have to worry about that. But the main difference is being that you got 4 wheels on the back instead of 2, you're going to be able to tote more weight. With the single wheels, you know, each tire, if you get a tire that's got like a 126 weight rating or 120, that's about 3,500 to 3,700 pounds per tire. So your towing weight could only be about 7,000 pounds. Whereas if you got the dually, you can double that. Your towing weight could be like 14,000 pounds. And that's before you start blowing tires and shit. Which if you start blowing tires and shit, it's very, very miserable. Been there, done that. Don't want to get that t-shirt anymore. Send out some inputs. Evidently everybody's fucking asleep, which is bullshit. You guys should be awake just like me. But anyway, so I would stick with 14 gears with if you want the dually for the extra weight, that's not a bad idea. I prefer the single wheel short bed because I can get it around a lot easier than that dually truck. It's like a fucking school bus. But with that being said, if I ever buy another truck and Ram gets their head out of their ass with the new Cummins motors that they brought out, I want to get a 4,500 Ram in 14 gears. And the reason I would switch back to Ram is because Ford in their 450s, they do not offer 410 gears. You have to get a 433, which when I went from 355 to 410, I lost an entire mile per gallon on just about everything across the board. Switching from 410s to 433s, you'd probably lose another half a mile a gallon or so, which, you know, if you're going to drop down to that kind of fuel mileage, you might as well just get a fucking semi or something, you know. But the new 450 is rated to tow, and find those numbers fast. Which is pretty incredible for basically a pickup truck. They look like it looks like they've redone the front end to look more like the F-150. Let me flip this around and I'll share it with you guys. Share screen. All right. So here it is, the 2020 F-Series Super Duty tow up to 37,000 pounds. Now, it's obviously not this guy. This is a 250. It's going to be the 450. All right, here's where we're outlining it. Let's see, the new 6.7 Power Stroke, 475 horsepower, 1,050 foot-pounds of torque, 37,000 pounds for gooseneck trailers, 32.5 on fifth wheel, 24.2 for conventional towing. That's pretty insane. That is pretty fucking insane. I'm not gonna lie. All right, stop sharing that. But what Ford don't tell you is they use that is their 450 rating, and then they will kind of compare that to like the Chevrolet and the Ram's 3,500. It's a little bit unfair because once you switch up to the 45 or the 450, you get 19.5-inch wheels, you get bigger axles, you get bigger rotors, bigger brakes, bigger brake lines. You got a wide track front end. I mean, it's more truck. You get more leaf springs, which is why I wanted to switch to the 4,500 Ram to get that toting, not towing, toting capacity. And which next, comes the trailer. What I would suggest, the next trailer I get, I'm going to get a Diamond C. It's going to have dual 10,000 pound axles. And the reason I say dual 10,000 pound axles is because the way they build their trailers, that gives you a GVW of 25,000 pounds. All right, if you go to any conventional trailer manufacturer with 10,000 pound axles, the best you're going to get is 22.5, and that's from Loadmax and Big Tex. PJ is also the same, I do believe. To get the 25,000 pounds, you got to have 12,000 pound axles, which are more expensive and they're heavier. And if you swap those out with Diamond C to get and go with the 12,000 pound axle, you're only getting an extra 900 pounds, 25.9, which to me is not, why? For $900 or 900 pounds, you're spending God knows telling how much more on the 12,000 pound axles. But as far as like straight deck or dovetail, I would prefer the dovetail with the mega ramps, because you can load more cars more easily than you can the straight deck. But if you don't like hauling cars, you don't want to haul cars, you don't ever plan on hauling anything heavy that you have to roll up on the trailer, why not go with a straight deck? But I got a buddy that hauled a 14,000 pound trailer on his trailer. You're not going to roll those up my slide out ramps, because you're going to crush them motherfuckers into Coke cans. But the mega ramps can handle that, so he got that load. I wouldn't have got that load. Not because I didn't want to, but just because my equipment wouldn't be able to handle it. Let's see. Let's take a look at Diamond C, guys. I'll show you what they got. Let's see. Diamond C trailers. Screen share again. Alright, Diamond C, they build some really sweet ass looking trailers. Let me see here. Here's that trailer. This is what we want to look at. Alright. These are like even their single wheel trailers, they're rated at like 18,000 pounds, which is crazy. Crazy. Alright, this is what I was talking about. You got 25,000 pound rating on a trailer. Let's see. All right, here we go. 10,000 pound Lippert axles, which I got Lippert axles. I got a Lippert axle on my green trailer right now, because they're substantially, let me rephrase this, tell you again, substantially cheaper than Dexter. And I don't really think they're any less better than them. All right, so you got 25,000 pounds. I mean, these trailers are like just, I wouldn't fuck with a hydraulic dovetail. I mean, now on these, I would opt for the 38 foot instead of the 40. I like a 36. They don't make a 36 in this model. It breaks my heart. Now the jacks, let's see here. I've got 2 hydraulic jacks right now, and let me tell you, they will spoil you. If I used to say I'm not getting a hydraulic jack because I'm not that lazy. Well, I bought this trailer and it was a good deal, and it just happened to have hydraulic jacks on it. Well, you know what? I am that lazy now. So fuck those jacks with the fucking hand crank. But I still ain't buying that hydraulic dovetail. Fuck that thing. That looks like a Ram 4500. I kind of like having the bed on it. All right, so like I was showing you, this one is, where we go, 10,000 pound axles. It's got a 25,000 pound rating. Back up and look at, this is the same trailer as above, but it's got super singles instead of duals. I'm not convinced that that's any better because I've ran the singles on the other trailers and it's miserable when you have a blowout. And on top of that, where are you going to be able to find these giant ass tires at? Like if you're out on the road and they blow up, you know, well, you might can find them in like Love's and shit, but that would be about it. Like I want to be able to go to Walmart and buy my tires like I do now. All right, so this one right here, 25.9. This is the trailer that has the 12,000 pound axles. Yes, 12,000 pound Lippert axles, and you only get an extra 900 pounds. I have not done a price comparison on the two different trailers because one has 12s and one has 10s, but I do know compared to like a conventional trailer, like a local shop priced a PJ with 10,000 pound axles, 36 foot. It was like $12,700. Traded for $22,500. I called a dealership that had Diamond C up in Tennessee, 38 foot, 10,000 pound axles, mega ramp, basically the same trailer, but it was only like $13,300. It was just a couple $100 more, but I got the 25,000 pound rating versus the 22 or 20,000 pound rating. And then if you're feeling really like you just want to take on the world, they got triple 10s for 30,000, and then they got this motherfucker right here that goes up to 40,000 pounds rating. That is crazy. I believe that's like three 12,000 pound axles that they're going with right there. That is insanity. So I don't plan on going to a trailer. Oh, and I want to do air ride, and I think that's probably going to be about it because air ride will actually expand your ability to haul freight a little bit more. There are some really good loads out there that are air ride only, and there are some average loads that I've hauled where I wished I would have had air ride when I got there and had to fight with the brokers because they claimed the shit was tore up. But that's going to be it for tonight, guys. If you guys have any questions about trailer setup, truck setup, specking those trucks out, leave me a comment or, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Catch you guys next time.